Chaos. From the formless dark sprang Gaia, solid earth, and Uranus, the star-strewn sky. Their embrace locked the cosmos into its first order, but the union was violent. Gaia birthed 3 broods, the 12 Titans, the one-eyed Cyclopes, and the 100-handed Cenomanes. Uranus hated the latter too and shoved them back into Gaia's depths, burying deformity inside the mother herself. The pain drove her to forge a jagged sickle of adamant and summon her 12 Titan children. Only the youngest, Cronus, dared accept the weapon. He hid beneath the night sky, and when Uranus descended to couple with Gaia, Cronus struck, severing his father's genitals with a single sweep. Blood dripped onto Gaia and sprang the Erinyes, the giants, and the Asteri nymphs. The severed flesh fell into the sea, white foam swirling until it birthed Aphrodite, goddess of desire, who stepped onto Cyprus amid a shower of salt and roses. Cronus hurled the sickle after the remains. It sliced the waves and, legend claims, became the sickle-shaped island of Corfu. With Uranus deposed, Cronus assumed the throne and ushered in the Golden Age. Fields bore fruit unbidden, mortals knew no labor, and law was unnecessary. Yet prophecy haunted the new king. Gaia and Uranus had whispered that Cronus, like his father, would fall to a son. Paranoia eclipsed golden peace. When his sister and queen, Rhea, bore children, Cronus swallowed each infant whole, first Hestia, then Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, believing ingestion safer than rebellion. By the 6th birth, Rhea could bear no more. She fled to Crete, delivered the child Zeus in a mountainside cave, and wrapped an oval stone in swaddling clothes. Cronus, gagging yet unsuspicious, gulped the decoy. The Omphalos stone settled in his belly beside 5 undigested siblings. Zeus grew swiftly among shepherds and nymphs. At adulthood, he sought Gaia's counsel. Together they brewed an emetic potent enough to regurgitate gods. Disguised as a cupbearer, Zeus served Cronus the draught on Olympus. Vomit erupted in reverse order of ingestion, first the stone, then Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and finally Poseidon, fully armed and furious. The siblings fled to Mount Olympus as Cronus rallied his remaining Titan kin. 10 years of war, the Titanomachy convulsed the world. Zeus freed the Cyclopes and Cenomanes from Tartarus in gratitude. The one-eyed smiths forged thunderbolts for Zeus, a trident for Poseidon, and an invisibility helm for Hades. The 100-handed giants hurled boulders like rain. When the Titans at last broke, Zeus cast most into the abyss beneath Tartarus, chaining them behind bronze gates guarded by the Cenomanes. Atlas, strongest of the Titans, received special sentence forever to hold the sky on his shoulders, preventing it from crashing upon Earth. Victory demanded new order. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots. Sky fell to Zeus, sea to Poseidon, underworld to Hades. Thus the Olympians supplanted the Titans, and Zeus took Hera, his rescuer and sister, as queen. Yet stability proved elusive. The new ruler's appetites rivaled his father's, and every affair seeded fresh myth. Hera, queen of Olympus and goddess of marriage, wielded matrimony like a battlefield. Wed to Zeus, she spent eternity defending the institution he continually defiled. When Zeus courted the Titaness Leto, Hera's jealousy became legislation. She banned fertile Earth from offering the pregnant goddess shelter, pursued her with a python, and kidnapped the birth goddess Aletheia to stall labor. Only the floating island of Delos, bold enough to defy Hera, gave Leto sanctuary long enough to deliver twins, Apollo and Artemis. Hera's vendetta did not end there. The infant Heracles, another of Zeus's bastards, lay sleeping when twin serpents slithered across his nursery floor. The boy throttled them bare-handed, but Hera would hound him into madness decades later, driving him to murder his own family and thus condemning him to 12 labors of penance. Poseidon, lord of the sea, carried the grudges of tides. Mortals honored him with horse races and harbor temples, yet one king's slight unleashed monstrosity. Minos of Crete begged a sign of legitimacy. Poseidon sent a flawless white bull from the foam with the understanding it would be sacrificed back to the deep. Minos, dazzled, substituted an inferior beast and kept the miracle for his herd. Poseidon retaliated with a cruelty worthy of depths. He inflamed Queen Pasiphae with lust for the bull. Through Daedalus' cunning, a wooden cow on wheels, she coupled with the animal. Their offspring, the Minotaur, bull-headed and man-bodied, devoured Athenian youths until Theseus ended the horror inside the labyrinth. Athena, gray-eyed daughter of mind itself, entered the world in armor, springing fully grown from Zeus's split skull after Hephaestus cleaved it with an axe to relieve an unbearable headache. The blow released her mother, Metis, goddess of prudence, whom Zeus had swallowed to thwart a prophecy that she would bear a son greater than his father. Athena inherited dominion over wisdom, just war, and the city's crafts. When Cecrops founded Athens, god and goddess vied for patronage atop the Acropolis. Poseidon struck rock with his trident, a salt spring gushed, promising naval power but tasting of brine. Athena drove her spear into soil and produced the first domesticated olive oil, wood, fruit, and trade in one gift. The citizens chose prosperity over prowess, and Athens took her name. Spurned, Poseidon sent his son Halorotheus to chop the sacred tree. The axe slipped and killed the vandal instead, a warning carved in bark and blood. Athena's wrath could petrify. When Poseidon raped the beautiful priestess Medusa inside Athena's own temple, the goddess transformed the girl into a gorgon whose gaze calcified flesh. Some say the punishment targeted the victim, others insist it shielded Medusa from further harm while turning her into living armor. Either way, heroes later hunted her severed head, unaware that from her neck sprang the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Chrysaor, children of Poseidon's assault. Hephaestus, divine smith, limped from birth. Hera, ashamed of his twisted foot, hurled him from Olympus. The ocean nymphs caught him in underwater caverns where he learned metallurgy from volcanoes themselves. He forged automaton handmaidens of gold to walk and talk, crafted Achilles' armor, and chained rebellious gods with nets finer than spider silk. Yet resentment smoldered. Years later, he presented Hera a golden throne of his own design. The moment she sat, invisible manacles snapped shut. Gods begged him to return. He refused, demanding Aphrodite's hand as ransom. Zeus, cornered, agreed, marrying beauty to deformity and sowing fresh scandal. Aphrodite, foam-born desire, emerged from severed skyflash and sea spume. Where she stepped, roses bloomed. Where she glanced, longing ignited. Though wed to Hephaestus, her heart raced for Ares, god of brutal war. The smith laid a net of bronze threads across their secret bed. At noon, he hauled net, lovers, and shame before the divine assembly. Laughter rang through Olympus until Poseidon bargained their release, trading favors for favors. Aphrodite never forgave the humiliation. Ares never forgave the laughter. Ares embodied war's raw appetite, bronze spear, brazen shield, chariot drawn by terror and tremble. Yet strategy eluded him. Athena, his half-sister, defeated him with tactics. In the Trojan War, she guided a mortal spear to pierce divine flesh, then hurled a boulder to pin him gasping to the ground. Ares retreated to Thrace, nursing wounds that healed faster than pride. Apollo, twin brother to Artemis, carried the sun across the sky in a golden chariot, but his true dominion was illumination of mind. He taught mortals music, medicine, and prophecy. At Delphi, he slew the serpent Python, Hera's pet, and claimed the chasm where earth exhaled truth. His oracle, chewing laurel and inhaling ethylene vapors, spoke in riddles that shaped empires. He could heal plague, or loose it with arrows tipped with fever. Poets sang that every lyric line contained a fragment of his voice. Artemis, lady of the hunt, asked Zeus for eternal virginity, 50 ocean nymphs as attendants, and a silver bow that never missed. She roamed mountains with wolves that heal, protector of childbirth despite her own renunciation. When the hunter Actaeon stumbled upon her bathing, she transformed him into a stag. His own hounds tore him apart, unable to recognize their master's scent. Dionysus arrived twice. First born of Zeus and Semele, princess of Thebes. Hera, disguised as an old crone, planted doubt, demand your lover reveal his true form. Semele did. Zeus, bound by oath, appeared as Thunderbolt and incinerated her. From the ashes, he rescued the unborn child, sewing the fetus into his thigh until maturity. Months later, Dionysus emerged, god of wine, ecstasy, and masks. His followers, Maenads, danced until mountains bled. He himself could drive mortals mad or bless them with wine that dissolved social rank. Hermes, divine trickster, wore winged sandals and carried a caduceus entwined with serpents. On the day of his birth, he invented the lyre from a tortoiseshell, stole Apollo's sacred cattle, and bargained his way out of trouble with music. Zeus, amused, made him herald of the gods and conductor of souls. Hermes could slip through locked doors, guide dreams, and deliver messages between Olympus, Earth, and Hades faster than thought. Demeter, golden-haired harvester, fed the world until her daughter Persephone danced through Nis's meadows. Hades, lonely monarch of the dead, burst from a cleft in the earth, chariot black as obsidian, and dragged the girl beneath. Demeter searched with torches day and night, seeds refused to sprout, cattle collapsed, mortals prayed to starving gods. At last, Zeus sent Hermes to negotiate. Persephone, however, had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds, food of the dead, binding her to the underworld for 1 month each year. Thus summer's bounty yields to winter's barren months when mother and daughter part. Hades ruled the invisible realm, his crown forged of adamant, his throne carved from black obsidian. He owned all precious metals under earth, yet seldom smiled. Souls crossed the river Styx aboard Charon's skiff, coin under tongue the fair. Cerberus, triple-headed whelp of Echidna, guarded the gates. Beyond them, 3 judges, Rhadamanthys, Minos, and Iacchus, sent the blessed to Elysium's meadows, the ordinary to Asphodel's gray fields, and the accursed to Tartarus's torments. Hades himself walked Earth only once, abducting Persephone, otherwise he remained below, ensuring balance between life and death, neither cruel nor kind, simply inevitable. Hestia, first swallowed and last disgorged, chose the quiet center. She relinquished her seat among the 12 to keep peace when Dionysus ascended, tending the eternal flame on Olympus and in every hearth throughout Greece. Offerings to her preceded every sacrifice, yet myths about her are few. Her power resided in stability itself. Thus the cosmos settled, sky under Zeus's thunder, sea beneath Poseidon's trident, underworld behind Hades' motionless gaze. Prophecy, war, wisdom, love, craft, wildness, and intoxication divided among their kin. Each generation overthrew the last, yet the pattern endures, power coveted, power seized, power shared until ambition stirs again. The myths remain maps of human impulse projected onto stars, storms, and seasons. Remember the sequence, and every later story, heroic quests, tragic wars, comedic disguises, finds its place along the branches of this divine family tree.